Messiah new flower this on the ends, representing the flames. Yo, the one here for the honorable priest Isaac. Some boy fi know this. Hear me now. Antigua are the place where priest Isaac dwell. Ancient Israel, ancient story fi tell. Yes, yes, up a Lalibela where the monk them a dwell. With them mescal, them a broke evil spell. Priest Isaac is an angel. Mystic vibration is an angel. And them nah go rebel. In a Zion where we dwell. When we broke for them spell. Priest Isaac is an angel. Yes, he's my angel. His foundations in the whole mountain. Priest Isaac on the whole mountain. Him black a reverence on the whole mountain. Him chant a psalm on the whole mountain. But never hesitate for yell the king. I take a Isaro Einin. So proud yes to be an offspring. Mystic vibration of the people them a sing. Angel, mystic vibration is an angel. And them nah go rebel. In a Zion where him dwell. When we broke for them spell. Priest Isaac is an angel. Yes, he's my angel. Priest Isaac is an angel. Mystic vibration is an angel. And them nah go rebel. In a Zion where we dwell. When we broke for them spell. Priest Isaac is an angel. Yes, he's my angel. Trot on the banks of the gully. Isaac trod it through the hills and the valley. Trod it through the town, through the bloody city. Highly, 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 always with we. Highly, 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 highly.
Once again, blessed love. Of course, you know exactly 17 minutes now after the hour of the 7 o'clock, and you're definitely into the part of the program known as the Shock of the Hour. And I'm very thankful for your presence with us, of course, once again. Honorable Priest Isaac with you on this wonderful evening, talking about the 14th day of May 2018, Monday evening with us. And let me just say, first of all, as we go into these realms here, yes, we'll be talking about Mother's Day. Now, of course, there'll be those that said, oh, come on, brother, you're a bit late with that. I mean, yesterday was Mother's Day. All right, fair enough. So even if we did this yesterday or the day before, it would definitely be in the records, you know, and you would still be able to listen to it tonight, tomorrow, and years to come. We're not entertainers. We don't really go with the flow, to be very honest. You are correct to some degree. I really didn't have no intention to talk about Mother's Day, you know. But from last year, I was sitting and observing how those of us who consider ourselves to be conscious people, how we, you know, gravitate to this day. And, you know, Happy Mother's Day and all of the different things that go with it. And, you know, I say to myself, okay, fair enough. I wouldn't attack that. But then this year, I see the same thing showing up again. Those of us who are conscious people, those of us who are individuals that, you know, we are well versed in knowledge and all sorts of things. We ourselves as well, you know, patronizing the day and all of these different things. Now listen. I know a lot of you that are listening to me, you're going to consider me as, you know, maybe some kind of Scrooge or some sort of Grinch or some sort of party pooper and, oh, how dare you and this and that. I know how you think. I know how you know, meditate. Don't you love your mother? And all of that kind of jazz. But that's not what I'm talking about. What do you mean? This is not about the love for your mother. I'm speaking specifically to the conscious ones amongst us. Now, either you are conscious, either you consider yourself an enlightened being, either you're growing to a level of perfection, or you're not. It's one or the other. So if you're not into no consciousness, if you're not into you're not into that, and you come and you say, hey Ross, which shoes do you think I should buy my mommy for her Mother's Day? If I'm on the spot, I might just tell you this one looks nice. I think she would like that one. Yeah. So I'm not a party pooper. So don't hate me. How could I be a party pooper? You're supposed to love your mother. Before we go into Mother's Day, let's get to mother first, so I can be clear here. We are an African people. Some people say, hey, every day is Mother's Day. I agree, but I don't agree. Every day ain't no Mother's Day. Every day is Mother's Day, but every day is not Mother's Day. Some of us, we try to say these things to make excuses. There's nothing wrong in giving your mother a day. There's nothing wrong as a nation to set aside a day where we honor the mothers. There's nothing wrong when you set aside a day to honor the fathers. What on earth could be wrong with that? So if you feel, oh, well, every day is Mother's Day, we don't have to honor no mother every day. No. There's some people that, there's this bearded, I don't know, he was Jewish or something, fella I was looking at, and he's trying to convince his audience why they should not celebrate their quote-unquote birthday. And I'm saying, I watching him, I say, well, brother, I'm sorry for you. You can say what you want. Because I start to celebrate from even the night before. And every 10:23 a.m. on my Earth Day, I make sure I light a chalice. That's the very moment I was born, a Friday morning. It was a new moon. So you could say what you want. And where the sun was, listen to me good, where the sun was the day I came out of my mother's womb is the same place the sun is every second day of January. And I'm not asking, I know this for a fact. So obviously there's a specific alignment with the sun and constellations and the stars that agrees with my birth. The planets, the phone agree too, the planets may be in a different alignment, in your annual moves, but I still remember where the planets were when I was born. Well, not remember, but obviously I've done my research, so I understand what the heavens was saying the day I came out of my mother's womb. And I did my calculations too, and I have a good idea what the heavens was saying when I was conceived. Oh yeah, that's important too. Because when you're conceived is almost when you were really born, That's when you were here. You did not come out, but you came here when you were conceived and spent 9 months in the incubator, then you came out. You follow me good? So if you want to put away these events and do not see them in a cycle, as if, well, this is your birthday, you're born one day and that's it, and there's no more. I understand when you say you have one birthday because it's one day you were birthed or one day you were born. I more like to say born day, because you were birthed from creation. So it's not as if there's something, strange and wrong to honor these days. As I said, there's a natural cycle. There's a natural movement. You observe the heavens, spring and summer, and winter and rain season and dry season. Don't they return every year on time? Don't the birds do certain things every year on clockwork? Because they're observing a specific cycle, especially the cycle of the sun, which is almost like the umbrella of the cycle of the moon and the movements of the planets. You comprehend? So birds and animals and insects, they move with the moon, they move with the sun, and their cycles Every year at a specific time, these cycles, monuments created by us align with stars in a specific cycle. So there's nothing wrong in celebrating cycles. Nothing wrong in celebrating the day you were born on an annual cycle. Because there's specific things taking place in the elements that apply to you at that time. So reminisce on it, open your heavens to it, and celebrate it. So celebration is key for us as a people. What's wrong with Thanksgiving Day? I don't see nothing wrong with Thanksgiving Day. Thanksgiving Day is something we as a people, as a people in general, not whatever religion and sect you think you are part of. We as a people should have an international Thanksgiving Day as black people, as Africans, as melanated people, as the Aborigines. I call in all the words because I know some of you waste time all day long and stop all progress because of a word. But the point I'm making is that you gotta celebrate. You should give thanks. Yeah, man. So I am an advocate for Thanksgiving. Now, the Thanksgiving, the Turkey Day that they keep up in November, am I talking about that? Man, listen. No, I'm not speaking of that. I wasn't going to answer that way, but I just said, simmer. I'm not speaking about that. Obviously, I'd be mad. I'd be a crazy man to say I partaking of Turkey Day when they massacred so many Indians. I think it was in Connecticut. They ambush and massacre hundreds of Indians. Something similar to the Alamo. Davy Crockett in the Alamo. That's why people will tell you, don't forget the Alamo. Don't forget the Alamo. Why do people tell you don't forget the Alamo? Because when Davy Crockett and his friends, European descendants, what they did, they came to kill the Indians, the people that they met on the land, the people that they call Indians. So they came to shoot them up. And there was this fort they called the Alamo. So Davy Crockett and his fellas were in the Alamo. And they used that as their defense. And they were killing the Indians while the Indians were coming at them. Now, Davy Crockett and his people, they got a whipping too. But the vast majority of the individuals that went down were the Indians. So this is why they always tell you, don't forget the Alamo. You're supposed to always remember the Alamo, for its bravery and all of that kind of stuff. But the Alamo has nothing to do with us. So how does it look for you to look in the face of an Indian, the Hopi, the Cherokee, the whatever else they have, and say, don't forget the Alamo? What do you mean, don't forget the Alamo? What's wrong with you? Huh? You're going to look at an Indian and tell the Indian, don't forget it's Thanksgiving Day. Huh? You're going to look at the native people of the land that was around here and tell them, let's go and celebrate Christopher Columbus Day. Well, what's wrong with you? These days represents the demise of us as a people. Us celebrating these days, even though the name of the days and what they are supposed to mean because of the expression is all good. Thanksgiving, of course. Thanksgiving sounds good. Let's give thanks. But who you're giving thanks to is not who I want to give thanks to. And the reason that you're giving thanks is not the reason I want to give thanks. Thanksgiving Day, as an African tradition, has nothing to do with killing off Indians and then mocking the Indians by this sacred bird, the turkey. That's why you see the Indians with the eagle feathers and the other feathers that they utilize and the turkey feathers. And all of a sudden you killing turkey and eating turkey, gobble, gobble, mocking the people, talking about Thanksgiving Day, counting how many of them that you hacked. So we look like idiots talking about pass the cranberry sauce and the candy yams and oh, that turkey is well baked. That's how we stay. Is there something wrong in celebrating the birth of the Messiah of the world? Is there something wrong in celebrating the birth of Christ? A lot of us that are conscious and we're Black Bible believers and Hebrew Israelites and conscious Christians, we talk about Yahushua and he's the Messiah and he's going to return and all of that. So I assume to celebrate his birthday would be something that you would do. Whether you do it on the 7th of January, whether you do it sometime in September, but I'm sure you do not celebrate Santa Claus coming the 25th day of December, fiasco that they keep up. I'm sure you don't. But then maybe I shouldn't say I'm sure you don't, because some of you still do. Some of you still go and buy the presents for your little ones, and you wonder what happened to them. Some of you still go and buy Valentine's roses for your wife. Yeah? Some of you still do that. Listen to me. All I'm saying is, either we're serious or we're not serious. I'm not telling you not to love your wife. I'm not telling you not to bring flowers for your wife. And try not to bring dead ones that, come on, I don't know where that tradition come from. But bring a living flower, plant a garden for your wife. I'm not telling you to do whatever it is that you got to do to make sure that she feels like a wife, of course. Not no wife, like a wife, yeah. But for you to align yourself with the 14th day of February, and you haven't even taken the time to study astronomy and astrology and some history and understand what's going on in the heavens on that particular day, how portals are open. You never take the time to wonder why they encourage people to have sexual intercourse on that, not day, that night. That night. All of that is mixed up culture, night and day. That night, why you do it at night? You never thought of that, eh? But they teach you to do that kind of stuff at night. Midnight, what happened to midday? Seems like a more powerful time to me. Follow me good. So they make sure your mind is focused on hanky-panky on the 14th of February. Hearts and rose, and you done no Cupid come and shooting you through your heart, killing you and your lover, shish kebab on the heart. Yeah? So what could be wrong in celebrating love? Nothing. Nothing wrong in celebrating love between a male and a female, a man and a woman, but we ain't keeping up no Valentine's Day. Nothing wrong in celebrating the birth of the true Christ, the true Messiah, the right date, but we're not keeping up no ho, Xmas and Santa fraud. I don't see nothing wrong with a Thanksgiving Day. And if I'm correct, I think Khalid Muhammad, before he stepped off, was advocating for a Black united Thanksgiving ceremony that we would keep annually. We ain't got no problem with that, but we ain't not keeping up no Turkey Day and no cranberry sauce and Black Friday coming up soon and all in foolishness. We're not advocating the murder of all the people that the Portuguese and the Spanish and the British came and met here. So we're not following none of these things. And in my book, the same thing can be said for Mother's Day, for Father's Day, for Grandfather Day, Grandparents Day. They have that too. And some of you don't even know that. You're screwing on me for not celebrating Mother's Day. I ain't not screwing on you. You not celebrating no Grandparents' Day. So don't tell me nothing. Don't tell me nothing. You just go with the flow. That's all you are. You're a follower. It's not nothing about no Mother's Day too serious. Do you celebrate Grandparents' Day? You don't even know when it is. Especially those of you that don't live in the United States, because all of this come from there, you know. All of this comes from there. So how you gonna try to force someone that don't want to take up to them things there? What kind of Mother's Day? Which mother they praise in? Which mother? They have many type of mothers, you know. I think it's suicide to take in a spiritual sacred time. These are sacred times and sacred moments. When you're talking about so-called holidays, that's why we call them holy days. They call them holidays. The Hollywood, the wood that makes you hallucinate. So a day off, as you call it, a holy day, a sacred time is very important. So it is important to reminisce and focus your energy on these sacred times. All of your celebrations. We celebrate the birthday of Haile Selassie, his coronation, Marcus Garvey Earth Day, the UNIA, the Emancipation Day, 1st of August, you know, the celebration of Christ, the 7th of January, and different days, African Liberation Day coming. These are sacred days. You read the Bible, it tells you certain days, that's are not Sabbath days, you don't do servile work, except for a man eat and so. Meaning that you're supposed to done set for these days, because these days are ordained days, and whether you know it or not, even the elements are, you know, reacting. Certain alignments are taking place, and that's why these days, feast days and tabernacle days are ordained days, even from the Most High, because they are well attuned with the movements of the heavens. But some of us, we don't take no time to look into that, so we don't even know that. And then the demon now has some days that he and she has concocted, well understanding the movements of the heavens. So when there's a time that you're supposed to be passive, he's telling you get drunk and party and rent a hotel room. Tonight is Valentine's night. When you're supposed to be passive, when you should maybe be fasted, even if it's just for 2 days, to reconnect yourself with some sort of mystic in the heavens. This cracker says go and buy some chocolate. Get some chocolate quick and some dead roses with the thorns. Oh, we like this stuff because it's all masonry playing out too. Rosicrucian, the rose and the thorns, the rose and the cross, the crucifixion. Yeah, and go and tell her, baby, I love you, and get between the sheets. That's what they promote. Don't tell me they don't promote that. What's wrong? That's what they promote. So they understand the science. So even if I didn't understand the science behind the Mother's Day, because there was a time when I didn't, but I understand enough to know I am letting go this killer here. So why on earth would I want to celebrate that? My very mother, when she was in the flesh, I told her straight, I'm not into them things in a mommy. So just be clear, no Christmas, nothing from me. I know some of you done screwing already. No Christmas, nothing from me. No Mother's Day, nothing from me. What else they do? Oh, none of them things. I don't keep up none. From a young age, you know, from the time I catch myself, and I never bow up to now. Up to this day, I've never bowed. And the same thing with anyone around me. Look at my children. You ain't getting none of them Christmas foolishness. What else they keeping up? Christmas, none of this none of these things. No Mother's Day, nothing. They ain't telling nobody no Mother's Day, nothing. We ain't keeping up none of that. We bonfire on that, and we firm with that. Sometimes you're humble and just, you know, want to make no noise, but sometimes you just gotta let people know we're not into that. And let them be angry. And, what's wrong with you? What do you mean, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with you? When is Haile Selassie's birthday? You know? So, well, okay, so what you vexed with me for? You vexed with me for not keeping up a pagan tradition? And I'm asking you, when is the birthday of the most important black man and you don't know and you upset with me, you should be ashamed of yourself. That's why people can't talk to me and tell me nothing. Because I'm going to ask you something that you should know, and if you don't know, what you vex with me for? What you vex with me for? Because I don't eat fish, you vex with me. I mean, some people bring up some weird foolishness, you know. Some weird madness. Yeah. So that's all I'm saying. If you are a real radical, you ain't keeping up no Mother's Day, nothing with nobody from that evil force. Check it. I don't have to tell you my business. But yes, my mother is not with me now in that realm. Well, she's right here with me. She's right here with me. You know, and I know for sure the reality is as I'm putting forward to you. You know, this is real revolution here. That's why you have to stand on something. Some of us, we just talk, we don't stand on nothing. So if you get your life in order, brothers and sisters, and you follow your ancient tradition, and as far as I understand, most of you, see, that's the thing. That's why I respect people that hold on to something, you know. And that you just grab anything, but you're in a tradition. You say you are a member of the Nation of Islam. You say you are a Dr. Malachi York follower. You say you are Hebrew Israelite, whether it's this, that, or the other one. You know? Well, I'm sure you have traditions. You have holy days. Some of you, you don't even keep up to your own stuff. You have holy days. Once you keep up your holy days, once you keep up your sacred days, and once you exchange gifts when you're supposed to, that's some of our problem. That's some of our problem. Look at us as Bobo Shanti. Prince Emmanuel teach us to exchange gifts too now. We don't do that. We don't exchange no gift. We exchange gift. We don't exchange gift with anybody. We're some real, you know, look, don't play with me now. We don't exchange no gift with nobody. And some of us, we still, during Christmas time, we still go and buy a little bike for a little son. Oh, what's wrong with buying a bike? Come on, man, you're trying to raise a righteous man. Buy him a bike some other time. And if you have the money now, go and pay for the bike and tell the man keep the bike and wait till next month and go for the bike. Don't try to associate it with no Santa Claus and no Christmas if you were really conscious. We need to break out of that. I despise, let me tell you straight, I despise conscious people talking about Happy Mother's Day. Straight up. I know some of you vexed, but that don't mean nothing to me. I ain't vexed with you, so if you vex with me, that's you. You put in, you keeping coals on your own head. As a conscious person, your mother, I'm not talking, you know, I'm talking from I'm giving you, I'm the living example then, let me put it that way. She may not be here now, but I'm the living example. I'm the living example. If you were to stand in front of my mother, in my presence, on Mother's Day, and you were supposed to tell her, wait, Mrs. Isaac, your son now go to church with you? Wait, he didn't buy nothing for Mother's Day? What kind of son he? She will tell you, no. You hush your mouth. You don't worry about he. He never come to church with me. And he have to buy me nothing for no Mother's Day. This is my only son, and he take care of me every day. That's what you would have heard. And on special days too. Some of us as conscious people. Some of us as conscious people, you need to share the love on your special day. Let your family members that are not a part of you know. Hey, today's African Liberation Day now. Why, then the African Liberation Day thing. I brought a bag of fruit for you, sister. Okay, what's so special about today? Today's Haile Selassie's birthday. Hey, that's why I do. Haile Selassie birthday? Yes, that's what we do. Here's a bag of fruits. Okay, well, thanks. And they'll remember that. You know, today's Empress Menin's birthday. Wow, who names her? That's Haile Selassie's wife. Wait, you married to? Yeah. And I baked your cake. Wait, I eat cake too? Yes, no egg, no nothing. It's made with spelt flour or almond flour or something. Yeah, but you see, we've lost that love. We've lost, this is what I'm trying to show you listeners. We have lost that creativity. We have lost that love for ourselves and our family and those in the same faith that we bow. It's pure bowing. All we do is bow. In the school system, we bow. We have so much talk, but we just bow. I was on a radio program today with our good friend Dave Lester Payne, and Dave almost, I would say he had me in a corner there, not with no hard questions. He just keeps saying how much he impressed with my children. Oh, I'm impressed in your son. Oh, your daughter can read so well, and they impress themselves, and they're homeschool. Oh, why is it? So if other children come, if other parents bring their children to you, would you teach them? So I had to tell him, well, Brother Dave, I'm teaching, you know, but I'm not accepting nobody else into my homeschool programming. Oh man, I have a few children that I like to come down, not into that right now. When the time comes, I will reach to that stage, but this is where I am. Well, what I am saying is this is my point. Around here, to go to these schools, you have to be injected with a vaccine. You got to be injected with a vaccine to go to the schools. I mean, I know the day will come when the barrier may be broken, but that's what's going on now. I mean, there are children in the school system that never take the vaccine, but they do it by going to a doctor, and the doctor sign the paper, and he make them go to the school. I would never do nothing like that. No, man, I fight vaccine. I ain't gonna pretend to the point that I will say, oh, yes, you got his shots. Yeah. Get what shots? You want somebody shot you? Talking about if you get shots. You get shot? Yeah? You ever been shot? What's wrong with you? I'm not into them foolishness. But what I'm saying is, I'm not afraid to tell you, the listeners, what I'm doing here is unique. Nobody else around here does that. Even all them Ras you see, only King Sagai Fu and Priest Sela and their community, which has an established school which grew out of homeschooling several years ago. But outside of that, all of these people you just see talk. But because we lack unity, and not even unity, because I don't need to unite with nobody to make my own decisions to say, hey, I open in my own school. And that's it, straight up. But that's what I'm trying to show you. We just talk. We're not really rebellious. We just chat and talk a lot of bad words and F this and mother effer and think that's supposed to move the crowd. It's sick. This is how you really work. You fight a system, not with noise, but you as a diplomat. So my own youths, they've met the Minister of Education, the Director of Education, even the Director of Education, so overwhelmed. Oh, I'm impressed, Priest Isaac, and all of them talk, you see. But Priest Isaac refused to bow. So this is what I'm telling you. This is my nature. Hard nature. I'm not telling you I have no problem with institutions, you know. I have no problem. It's not a problem with the institution, in general, kind of how. Yeah. Because we are university type people, but we have universities in Africa. Yeah, you don't know they have University of Dar es Salaam. They have university in Senegal, top universities in Africa. You know? But we are bombarded with Oxford and Howard and all them things there when we have universities in Africa. If we're not ready to build our own as yet, real university. I know YouTube page and talking about this is the University of Consciousness. Let me just talk, man. I mean a real university. Let me just give you a quick little history here. I know most of you know that Mother's Day came from Mother Anna Jarvis. She was referred as the Mother of Mothers. And let me tell you this off the bat. I'm not trying to find some sort of evil behind Mother's Day, you know? Because I'm going to read something here for you, 7 things you don't know about Mother's Day dark history. And I'm being very honest, it's just something I found interesting. Not because it's Mother's Day dark history. I'm not trying to paint it dark. It could be as bright and as cheery as the sun. I do not want no Mother's Day from my enslaver. That's what I mean. I don't care how, man, you could make it look like it's the rosiest thing that's coming. If that's what it is, unless I can prove that this is our African Mother's Day and they have infiltrated it, well, then I'll work with it. But not under their circumstances. As I told you about Lent, as Bobo Shanti, we fast during Lent. Lent, the same Lent that begin at Ash Wednesday, and the same Lent that end on Good Friday. As Bobo Shanti, we fast during Lent. Okay? Lent is a big Roman Catholic thing. But I could prove to you, which I've done in other videos, I'm not going to try it now, and prove to you that that period, that 40 plus day period that we call Lent, is a time when the earth itself is cleaning out. And I proved that already. If anybody that deals with the sea and the ocean, you know that. So it's not as if we're following the Roman Catholic Lent. That is something that they stole from us. And those of us who have risen in this fourth generation, the 4G generation, the 4G, yeah, some of us have that ability to unravel these mystics, like myself, straight off. So that's the point. So we understand now there's certain things that the enemy is following us, and there's certain things that we should never ever follow the enemy with. Good. So I'm not celebrating no day, no grandparents' day, no daddy day, no Father's Day, the second Sunday in May. Watch them kind of science there. I mean, not even a date. The second Sunday in May. Anything you see second Sunday and second Monday, and so check it good. Especially when it's not a date. It's a mystic thing. Anyway, same thing about the Lent too. So obviously it's dealing with the moon and certain cycles. All right. Good. Woodrow Wilson is the one. Is Woodrow Wilson the one that set the date in motion? Woodrow Wilson, the same fella that allowed them to establish the Federal Reserve and the FBI and the IRS. The same Woodrow Wilson, you know, man, that made the debt of America, I think, skyrocket about 800 times. Woodrow Wilson. This is a work from National Geographic. This is actually from National Geographic, so it's not no wayside website, no conspiracy, nothing. National Geographic by Brian Handwork. Well, let's see what work his hand is doing here. Mother's Day seems harmless enough. Treat mom to brunch, pardon me. Buy flowers, good times. But the story of the modern holiday, which is celebrated this Sunday, which was yesterday, in the United States and many other nations, is rife with controversy. Oh, is that so? Conflict, okay. Consumerism, run amok. Some strange but true facts you probably don't know. Number one, Mother's Day started as an anti-war movement. Anna Jarvis, as most of you would know, is most often credited with founding Mother's Day in the United States. And before we go that far, for my knowledge, I don't think this is in this, but you see, you have to look into a lot. Anna Jarvis, I think she was, her mother had about 11 of them, and I think only 4 of them survived. You know, I mean, there's some mystic things. So you could understand, and you know, she said to reminisce on the love of her mother towards her too, from other people that speak of her. And I think even her daughter, after her, carried on the fight for a while, but I don't think she had any children. And at the end of it, they said that Anna Jarvis was you know, very saddened of how the Mother's Day, from her perspective, turned out as a commercial day, to the point where she said she wished she didn't create it. She did not create it. And it says here, designated as the second Sunday in May by President Woodrow Wilson in 1914, Aspects of that holiday have since spread overseas, sometimes mingling with local traditions. Jarvis took great pains to acquire and defend her role as mother of Mother's Day, and to focus the day on children celebrating their mothers. Okay. But others had the idea first, and with different agendas. Julia Ward Howe, better known for writing the Battle Hymn of the Republic, promoted a Mother's Peace Day beginning since 1872. For Howe and other anti-war activists, including Anna Jarvis's mother, Mother's Day was a way to promote global unity after the horrors of the American Civil War and Europe's Franco-Prussian War. So all of this, even her mother, Anna Jarvis's mother, was a part of a more older Mother's Day, Mother's Peace Day, beginning 1872. So it's good to know the history, since you're keeping it up and you're so, you're very religious in it. All of that is your religion. If you keep up Mother's Day and you buy these things every year, that's a part of your religion, whether you like it or not. That is your religion. And so it was a day to promote global unity after the horrors of the American Civil War. I don't think you understand what I'm saying. You're not getting me. You're missing the point. We need to get a little more serious. What does global unity mean? That ain't got nothing to do with you. This does not have nothing to do. You were not even thought about when they were concocting this thing here. They were not talking about your mother. They were not speaking about your father when they made up this stuff. Remember, this was the time, Civil War. Just think about that, Civil War, Civil War. What does that have to do with you? You were not a civilian. You may have been fighting in the war because they needed some more foot soldiers and some infantry, some people to get the bullets so they could get a chance to kill their own brothers, but you were not important. You were not 3/5 of a human being. You're 2/5 of an animal. So I don't know what you're talking about. They were not talking about your mother. This has nothing to do with you. How long have America, the United States of America, been an independent country? From 1776. So the United States is 242 or so years old, if I'm correct. America is 242 years old, or something around there. Yeah. All right. When America got its independence, black people were slaves. Black people became free in the United States of America almost 100 years after that. So when you celebrate the United States independence as a black man, you need to shave off 100 years off of that, because the first 100 years had nothing at all to do with you. And I'm only saying that for conversation's sake, because the rest 150 still ain't got nothing to do with you. The only thing that has to do with you is that you're the one that is on the ground and their feet is on your neck. That's what it has to do with you. But we don't sit and consider that. And if you could just wrap that around your mind, when the US got its independence from Britain, it had nothing to do with you. You were obviously important in the game. And on another level, it had a lot to do with you. But you know what I mean. The independence, the freedom. Oh, we won this war. No, not you. You were the pawns. You may have been fighting, but you didn't win a thing. Thanks for the 2-3 people you shot for us. And if you're lucky, when we carry you home, we give you a little biscuit and a little fried chicken and something to drink, and you'll be okay. Go home to your mama. Had nothing to do with us. The Europe's Franco-Prussian War. What does that have to do with us? Nobody said anything about after the African Holocaust and and for the slaves to remember those they left in Africa. They were considered about the Civil War. They were considered about the European War. They were not considering you. This continues to say, who called for women to gather once a year in parlors, churches, for social halls, to listen to sermons, present essays, sing hymns, or pray if they wish, all in the name of promoting peace. As Catherine Antolini, an historian at West Virginia Wesley College, and author of the book Memorializing, Motherhood, Anna Jarvis, and the Struggle for Control of Mother's Day. Oh boy, so it was all a struggle too. Several American cities, including Boston, New York, Philadelphia, and Chicago, held annual June the 2nd Mother's Day services until roughly 1930. Okay, that's interesting. These early Mother's Days, 2nd of June, these early Mother's Day movements became popular only among peace active groups and faded when other promoters took the center stage. And I'm just saying, again, I mean, there's a lot more to it, but I'm not going to read all of that. I'm just saying again that when you understand this science, we are dealing, let me put it this way, if I'm a lion, I don't see it right. I think I'll be ludicrous to be trying to keep up the culture of the hyena. So even if the hyena wants to honor the chief hyena on this specific day, why on earth am I following suit, talking about I'm honoring the chief hyena with them? Because again, yes, you have a mother. Please love your mother. Even if for some reason you think your mother don't love you, that was the vehicle that brought you into this world. So please love her. Don't turn your back on her. I know even when you go through your adolescent stage, sometimes, your little hormones kick up, but whether you be male or female, and you tend to try to separate yourself and cut away your spiritual umbilical cord, not just from your mother, but even from your family. Some of you young girls, some of you young boys, I know when you start to, as we say around here, smell yourself, you may feel that you're just too big. And he is not listening to me, she don't understand me, so I'm going to go and live with him. Or I'm going to get my own place, or I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And I mean, when you reach a certain age, if you want to do what you want to do, you just want to do what you want to do. But it doesn't matter what age you are at. Never forget your mother, man. No matter what age you're at. Never turn your back on your parents that brought you up and took time to nurture you, even if you don't see things eye to eye. You don't, even as a big person, you don't have to live with somebody not to turn your back on them, Don't get me wrong. But you got to show appreciation, show them the full love, and don't be waiting until one little day and you say, I'm going with my mommy today, I just forget his Mother's Day, and you turn the car around and you're going back to the store to buy some dead flowers. Come on, she can see through all of that. For the whole year, been borrowing money from her. You owe her about $500. Bring back her $500, man. What $10 roses you're talking about you could buy for your mother? Go and give her back the pension money that you borrowed from her. Come on. That's what you call real love. And don't act as if I don't know what I am saying. Because that's the reality of life that is around us. So my brothers and sisters, that's it. I wasn't trying to change your outlook. I wasn't trying to change your culture. I'm just trying to show you, especially, that's why I began, By showing you, if I was in the store and any old person just come and say, "Excuse me, Rasta man." Yes, I don't know you. I don't know you neither, but which shoes you think look better? I want to buy a shoe for my mother for Mother's Day. I would be the first to say, "Oh, this one is nice. Oh, but look at this one over here. I was looking at this over here." Yeah, I would tell you so. Because that's where you are. I meet people where they are, you know. I meet people where they are. But if you are a conscious person, or even if you're seeking for consciousness, well, I am advising you. You need to throw all them days away. Straight up. And don't make no excuse. Because you can create the same energy you want to give to your mother on that day. You could give her the same energy without falling trapped to some one day that the enemy trying to pull some money out of your pocket. You could literally make up your mind to be a genuine son. And I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. And she would feel your love. Even if you were someone that she was a bit disappointed in when she saw you growing locks. Even if you were someone that she felt a little bad when she heard somebody say, "Boy, I think he's a Rasta now. Boy, I think he's smoking herb, you know." Of course she would feel away because she didn't grow you up to be that. She didn't grow up to be that. But she never told you to leave the house. Well, at least not mine. She never told you to go somewhere else and live. At least not mine. And let me just teach you something. Some of you, since you got so close to me, I can show you certain things. I'm not afraid, ain't nothing to hide. You understand? All right. When I speak to some of you and I explain, even when I took up this Rastafari faith, my father asked me to leave the house. Not my mother, my father. And I'm speaking of two different houses here, since you want to know exactly what I'm saying. So when I left my father's house, I didn't have to go and rest in the wilderness. My mother opened her arms and said, "Oh my, that's what happened? Come on, son, you know your room is still there." But I understood what was happening to me. So I was willing to jump out of the nest, and I'm so happy I did. That, as you know, those of you who listen to me, that is one of the main things that made me who I am today. To literally let go of all these people here and all that, the tentacles that they believe, I needed to hold on to, and just go into the wilderness and spend years in the wilderness and develop myself to the person that you know. I'm telling you, straight up. So I needed that. But I'm just showing you that my very mother, not that something was wrong with my father because he said you gotta go. That's just what he thought. Even if your mother tell you have to go, you still got to show appreciation for her. Show appreciation for them, especially those of you who have a father that take care of you. Man, you gotta show that man respect, man. That's almost a choice he made in this time. It seems like, you gotta show respect and thank him for just even not running away when many of our fathers have run away. You understand? Literally run away too. Out of the country and all them things. You don't even know who they are. And that is so sad, So I hope the message is clear. I didn't do this to come out like I'm some sort of on you. Yeah, show love to your mother. The idea is good. But as a conscious person, man, you have, what business have you walking behind your enemy's holiday? I don't care who they honor it. They honor God too. But we ain't gonna honor no God with them. You hardly go and kneel and pray in their churches. Why you don't do that? They praying to God. Don't you pray to God too? Well, their God is a different God. Their mother is a different mother. So be wary and be careful of their Mother's Day. Holy Manuel, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Well, give thanks again, And just a joy, of course. Give thanks for your presence with us. The Mystic Vibration is a program that comes to you every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, right here on Radio Anu. Of course, I'm definitely inviting all of my listeners to Antigua for the 21st day of December. Of course, we'll be having that mighty winter solstice hiking tour, both 21st and 23rd. As I said, prepare yourself for 7 days of activities right here in the Stonehenges of the Caribbean, the island of Antigua, you know. And of course, remember, you could definitely subscribe for those who have not subscribed as yet to the Mystic Vibration Shock of the Hour to get your monthly set of programs. Please, I'm advising you to subscribe. It's very easy. All you have to do is contact me, give me a call, a WhatsApp, area code 12687283162. Email me, priestisaac at priestisaac27@gmail.com. And of course, you know, you could definitely, give you all the information you need to know on exactly how you could subscribe to get your mystic vibration every day. And if you're not clear, what happens when you subscribe is that after tonight's program, what you're listening here, if you were a subscriber, when I'm done, this program will go straight to your inbox, in your email. Tomorrow night's program will go straight to the inbox in your email. Wednesday night, same thing. Thursday night, same thing. Over the weekend, you ain't gonna get none. Unless I do something special and I feel to send it to you. But then next Monday, you're getting the next program. Next Tuesday, a next program. And it happens until the month is done for a very small price of only $50. And the information continues to come to you. So, you don't give us a call or WhatsApp or email, and we'll definitely fill you in on exactly what you got to do to subscribe. Give thanks. So if you know your Bible and you do not know your history, the knowledge of your Bible will become a mystery. And it takes some realize that are amongst us. And let me just say again, you know, it's a heart of love to all the mothers, just naturally. Since that's the energy and the frequency that we are adapting to, I'm going to try my best to separate it from the frequency and the energy that our enemy has, instilled upon us at this time, because I know they're up to something. But enough respect to all the mother newts, all the mother assets, all the mother menins, all the great wombs that has brought the great ones, both male and female, into existence. It's nothing but love for all of our mothers. But don't mistake what I'm saying at all. I am not celebrating no second Sunday of May, Mother's Day, with nobody. Holy Emmanuel, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. This is Priest Isaac, eh? Yes,
Yes, I know flower is on the ends, representing the flames. Yo, the one after the Honorable Priest Isaac. Some boy fi know this. Hear me now. Antigua are the place where Priest Isaac dwell. Ancient Israel, ancient story fi tell. Yes, up a Lalibela where the monk them a dwell. With them mescal, them a broke evil spell. Priest Isaac is an angel. Mystic vibration is an angel. And them nah go rebel. In a Zion where we dwell. When we broke for them spell. Priest Isaac is an angel. Yes, he's my angel. His foundations in the whole mountain. Priest Isaac on the whole mountain. Him black a reverence on the whole mountain. Him chant a psalm on the whole mountain. But never hesitate for yell the king. I take a Isaro Einin. So proud yes to be an offspring. Mystic vibration of the people them a sing. Angel, mystic vibration is an angel. And them nah go rebel. In a Zion where him dwell. When we broke for them spell. Priest Isaac is an angel. Yes, him an angel. Priest Isaac is an angel. Mystic vibration is an angel. And them now go rebel. In a Zion where we dwell. When we broke for them spell. Priest Isaac is an angel. Yes, him an angel. Trod on the banks of the gully. Isaac trod it through the hills and the valley. Trod it through the town, through the bloody city. Highly, 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 always with we. Highly, 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 I protect we. Highly, 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 I would never leave we.